If this looks like a familiar venue, it's because we've been here before. Plattsburgh State Fieldhouse, of course, the other end of this building is going to be undergoing some huge renovations, I heard, for the hockey arena. But we're in the Fieldhouse on Ruger Street in Plattsburgh at 10 o'clock in the morning on April 26th, a significant day this year because it's the Arts and Crafts Fair, the annual Spring Arts and Crafts Fair. And if the beginning is any indication, they're going to have a successful day today. The craft fair runs this day from 10 in the morning until 5. And I think we had some door crashers because we got here just before 10 o'clock and they were lined up, and the girl who had the who had the cash box was raking in the dough, and that's as it should be. People come from far and wide not just to look at the arts and crafts, but to show them to you and to me. They come from various places in New York State. We were surprised to find some of them come hundreds of miles to be here every year because it's a very successful show. And don't forget the state of New York. So, on this program, you'll no doubt see some of your friends and neighbors wandering with heavy bags on their arms, having made some great purchases here today, and you'll see friends and neighbors who perhaps do arts and crafts all winter long just to show them at the Arts and Crafts show here every spring. It's fun for us to come here because we love the Adirondack region on Hometown Cable. We love to spotlight Adirondack artisans and those people who do everything from those little Christmas trees to the beautiful furniture that you see right in front of us that can be finished by you or left just that way forever and ever. Stay with us. We're going to have a great time as we tour the Spring Arts and Crafts Fair at Plattsburgh State. Told you we had to stop and look at Adirondack Furniture. Right. I forgot your name already.
Jim Dugan.
Jim, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Wilmington originally.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, right. But I live in Plattsburgh now. Have a shop up in Moore's Forks.
I knew you had a shop in Moore's Forks.
And I was a teacher, right? Well, down where your old neck of the woods in Spring Valley.
Spring Valley, right, isn't that amazing?
Right. Yeah, right.
You know, being such it's a pretty big place now. Back in the old days, Pearl River and Spring Valley and those Muncie and those places were just a little podunk.
That's right. That's why I went down there.
Now look at it.
No, I know it's terrible. My kids live down there.
Oh,
Two of my boys
really?
live down there.
Oh.
My son lives in Stony Point where we live, and my other son lives in West Haverstraw.
Oh yeah. So you get to make the trip every now and then.
Yeah, now and then. Right. I don't look forward to it usually, except to see the kids.
The Northway still works.
That's right.
Better than the old days on Route 9, I'll tell you that, Jim.
Definitely.
So you live right in the city now?
I live down on Couch Street. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Well,
you have the best of all
sometimes at 2
worlds.
o'clock in the morning it's not great, but aside from that,
not my fault.
No.
You know I'm long gone at 2 o'clock in the morning. So tell me what you're doing here. We've talked about this before, but it looks like
the Adirondack Furniture and everything really. But look on my hat right there. You see anything on there?
Oh, look at this. That little tiny birdhouse?
No, it's not a birdhouse.
What is it?
It's a black fly house.
That's even better.
Yeah, that's right.
Little black flies all go in there and don't bother us.
Look over there on the green sign on the top there, and it explains what they do. Well, I've been doing it for years, but I just started making them again. I haven't made any in quite a while.
That's very tiny, and I would have missed it. I thought it was a little block of wood. I couldn't focus, Jim.
I know what you mean. So, but we're making, the same furniture we have been making for quite a while.
You have great designs. Are some of these your own? All of them your own, or what?
Actually, I think it's the Adirondack chair. When I was a kid, that's what we had in front of our house. We had the chairs.
I got two of them in my front, and I got to paint them again because I paint them green every year.
Right. It's a great, comfortable chair, I think.
I like the rocking chair.
That's brand new. My son designed that.
Come on.
Oh yeah, right. And that's the back of that is the same as the back of this chair.
Right.
And you got to sit in it because it's a comfortable chair. It's wide enough.
It looks like it has extra support. If I get stuck in here, it's all your fault. No, I love it. And no seat belt. That's the reason I started losing weight again this year. I was afraid I'd have to get an extender on the airplanes. Oh, this is, oh yeah. Now if we can make them double wide.
He makes one double wide.
Come on.
Yes.
You gotta be kidding me.
He does. Yeah, the Love Seat only it's a double rocker, and he also makes them without the rocker, but the same chair.
Are we talking about a chip off the old Jim here?
He's better than I am. He can look ahead.
Now, do you make all the stuff at your shop up there, or do you?
Right. He makes it. He has a little shop in his garage down in West Haverstraw, and then he makes them down there. But down there he'll make them for out of red cedar or white cedar or it's anything that they want.
No kidding.
But I just don't have time to do that. But this stuff, it just keeps me, and I don't work quite as fast as I used to.
Isn't it funny when we're retired, we run out of time to do all the stuff we wanted to do for the last 40 years?
That's for sure.
What did you teach?
I was a 6th grade teacher, and then I was a guidance counselor.
Guidance counselors.
Right.
They're a rare breed.
Yeah.
You wonder how many of those kids actually listen to what you say.
They age you fast.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? You have a youthful smile and face, and you have a great attitude, and you can't fail when you settle down here in northern New York.
No, definitely. That's why I came back.
Yeah. How many different items do you think you have represented?
I have about 25.
Do you? Oh,
yeah, right. If I go through all of them, yeah.
No kidding.
I have a website, and I have about 25 items on it.
I love the little hobby horses.
I've been making 25 years.
Did you always burn them from the beginning?
Yes, right. Just gives them a little bit of a character, and you'll notice if you look at it. See this side?
Yeah.
That's he's smiling, see? And then you come around this side, he's frowning.
Who would notice that?
Well,
a kid might, but an adult would never notice that.
I always point it out when someone looks at it or buys them because it's the way people feel a lot of the time.
We've seen hundreds of variations of the hobby horse, haven't you?
Oh,
the homemade ones with my father-in-law, the late Alfred Vaughn, would make the ears out of the tongues of old shoes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I forgot what he'd use for the tail.
Right.
You used rope.
I used just rope. Right.
But it looks like solid.
But I think I told you last time about the ears. The first ones, when I first started making them, I didn't put ears on them. And the mother bought one, took it home, the little boy had nothing to do with it.
Because it didn't have
any ears.
You gotta be kidding me.
She brought it back to my shop, and she said, he doesn't want it in the house. So I said, well, you leave it, and I'll see if I can figure out some ears for it. And
I finally, the mouths.
Oh, that's right. It was unbelievable.
They're observant in a totally different way than we are, aren't they?
I know.
May it always be so.
Right. But he was very upset because didn't have any ears. Can't hear me. If I say something to him, he's not going to hear me.
Oh, you say giddy up, he's not going to giddy up, right?
That's right.
Oh, that's just fantastic. So anyway, you had to bring your truck or a big van or something?
No, I have a truck, but I bring a load down and put it in my little shed in the back down in Couch Street, and
that's
then
a good idea.
Make 2 trips up here in the morning. I came last night and unloaded. Brought some more stuff up this morning.
And if you're successful now, you may have to either get a bigger truck or a bigger shed.
No, I can't afford a bigger truck.
Oh. My big truck sits in the garage.
That's right.
I take it out about twice a year.
Yeah, that's right.
I bought a new hybrid for my wife for her birthday, and I got more miles on that than I got in the truck that's 6 months old.
What do you get? What do you do for mileage?
On the hybrid, over 50 right now. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it costs me about $12 a day when we're not at camp to go from here and back to
my son's got
shop.
A truck similar to mine. He filled it up yesterday, and he said it was, I hate to lie, but I'm sure he said $78.
Oh, you're not lying. I don't know what he had, but he's not lying.
Oh,
he's
isn't
not lying.
that unbelievable?
No. Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you're very successful. You
Thank
said
you.
The fall one's a little bit bigger?
It usually is, yes. Yeah, because it's before the Christmas holidays and everything, so a lot of people are in shopping then for
I
Christmas.
see no reason why you should have to take any of this stuff home when you're done
I hope
today.
you're right. I hope you're right.
Jim, it's always great
Thanks
to
a lot.
see you.
Good to talk to you.
Best of everything. Keep
Right, thanks a lot.
I love it.
Right.
See you later. I like it. I stopped when he hollered inventory reduction. Cheap day.
Hi, Gordy. How are you?
I'm great. What's your name again?
Harold Boyle.
Harold, where are you from?
Plattsburgh. Originally Beekman Town, but Plattsburgh for the last 35 years or so.
It doesn't count. Before that doesn't even count, right?
Right.
So what do you got here today?
Well, we're doing an inventory reduction of our photographs. We usually photograph scenes in the North Country and animals that are indigenous to the North Country. Today, basically,
Please now give me a word to look up, right?
and I'm talking too fast probably already.
No.
But we're basically just reducing our inventory. It's spring show. We're just trying to get rid of some of the things that we've had at other shows. We didn't do a lot of work on this one. So we brought our prices way down.
He just kept hitting the button, didn't you?
My aim is to have a picture of mine in every household in the North Country by the end of the year. So at this
Pretty
price,
soon you'll be paying people a quarter to take them away. No.
we were thinking of leaving the last box under the table when we leave. So if there's any pictures.
Just wonderful. And these
Thank
are
you.
all your photographs?
Yes, they are.
No
Yep.
kidding.
Yep.
You've been doing this for a while, right?
For a few years, yep.
And are you specializing now or just...
I'm actually retired. I retired a year ago, so this is what I do for fun. Basically, I'm not trying to make any kind of real money on this. I just enjoy doing the photographs, and I enjoy what people say about the photographs and bring a little smile to somebody's face once in a while.
And you know, people do you take all digital photographs now? Or?
Everything is digital for the last 5 or 6 years.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Some people are reverting.
It's just like having a dark room in your house now. You can work on a picture, bring out the best colors, bring out the sharpness in those animals, much better than with the old, what we would call analog photography of the old days.
Yeah, right.
And it's more cost effective, to be honest with you. And it's just a lot more fun to do digital than it is the old-fashioned film, where you had to send it away sometimes and wait weeks for the picture to come back. Sometimes you had something, sometimes you didn't, and now you can sort of tell the same day that, hey, I have a photograph here that's really worth looking at.
I was telling Calvin I took a picture of a gentleman for an article I'm writing, and his eyes were closed. He said, why didn't you look at the photograph after you took it? You know, I did, but you look on that little tiny screen.
Right.
And you don't realize till you got home, so I had to call him up. Can I come back and can you hold your eyes open?
That's the beauty about digital photography. You can take 500 pictures of the same subject and pick out the best
I took two, and his eyes were closed in both of them, so I took two more and popped them open. So
the old days, the cost of the film would prohibit you from taking more than a couple pictures of anything.
Well, we know a lot of people who take pictures, but you know, and yours are special.
Thank you very much.
But now, you know, you can take special pictures just by being at the right place at the right time with a digital camera.
There's so many nice animals around the North. There's people don't even realize. A lot of times they'll stop by and say, what's that? And it's something that they'd find in their own backyard if they just sort of open their eyes a little bit.
It's amazing. So, we just did a television interview which hasn't been aired yet with Dennis April, does the outdoors column for the paper. And he was showing us trail cameras. You just set them up, different heights, and he wants to publish a book with every animal in the Adirondack region that he
That would be fantastic. It's a really good idea.
Stuff that you get along the trails when nobody's around.
But even in a place like a lot of these pictures are from Osable Point, which is a campsite anybody can drive down.
They're going fast here. Maybe this tape will be cleared by the time we get
Our aim was to get out of here by noon, so we might make it. So we can go take some more pictures.
I just love it. You know what? I like to talk to you. You got a snake over there?
A regular garter snake.
Yeah,
it's just
he looks vicious there, doesn't he, boy?
That was actually taken over in Dead Creek in Vermont, which is another beautiful place right across the border here.
Yeah.
You just go across the Crown Point Bridge, and it's about 2 miles away from that. So
how many did you bring? About 100?
No, I only brought about 62 or something. Normally I bring about 150. But spring's sometimes a little slow at these crafts.
I hope you're
times
surprised
are tough
today.
No, I hope
you have to go home and come back and
I'm not coming back. I'll be back in November.
I love it. Thanks so much for seeing us.
Nice
have a great day.
And you do a great job for the North Country. I want to tell you that.
You're very kind.
It's always a pleasure to see you on television. And I just saw your Kent Delord one, which was just a fantastic show. I hadn't been in the Kent Delord house in about 20 years. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
well,
yeah, do what you
But
got to do.
that makes
buddy.
me want to go see the Kent Dorn house.
Go do it.
There was so much that history there.
I'll
that,
tell John you're on your way.
Okay, I'll be there.
See you later.
See you
Have
later.
a great
Nice
day.
seeing you too, Kyle.
Bye-bye. I don't know if we even ought to talk about your mother. She was here a minute ago, and then all of a sudden, when she saw
You
the
can come
camera,
in. You can join me. Oh yeah, you can.
Who are you?
I don't want to be here. Gina Neera.
Gina, where are you from?
40 in New York.
Where?
40 in New York.
Oh,
It's near
Fort Anne.
Fort
Oh,
Anne.
yes, I know where Fort Anne is. Have you been here before?
Yes.
Every
Yes.
year?
For the last couple of years.
You like
We
the show?
Yes, we like the Plattsburgh show.
We've had people comparing this show with the fall show. Do you come in the fall as well? Or
Yes, we do. We do 2 spaces in the fall.
2 spaces.
We do a big, yeah. We're big in the fall.
I understand the fall is, and then we've been here during the fall. That's pretty successful, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But
Yes.
the spring fling is a good idea. Now tell me what you brought with you here today.
The toll painted crafts. My mother and I do them. So, yeah, and we have a friend that's got a couple of things here too.
Your mother started all this, right?
We
Or did
started
you-
it together. We
Did you
learned
really?
to paint together. We took lessons together quite a while ago, like 10 years ago. So, probably longer than that.
10 years ago, you actually took painting lessons so you could make the.
Actually, it was longer than that. It was probably 15 years ago. Took painting lessons and we just got addicted.
But who's
We love
counting,
it.
right?
That's right.
Well, you paint very well. Tell me what
Thank
goes
you.
into making some of these things.
Oh, we cut the wood. A lot of the wood is cut. Some of it's pre-bought, but we cut the wood. We actually have she has a wood shop in her house.
No
And I
kidding.
have the painting area at my house. And yep, we cut the wood and actually sand it and the whole 9 yards, and then we seal the wood and then start painting on it.
What
So-
gives you the idea for certain items? Do you just look around and say, "Oh, that would be a good idea," or how do you do
We
that?
look through books too. We have books that we use, and we
Oh,
look
I
through
should
books.
have
and
known. Yeah,
Some of it is just like I sold a stool this morning that I did. I just designed it myself. It's gone.
it's gone.
It's gone. I sold it right off. It was a one and only, and it's gone. So
You'll have to make a second and only.
no, yeah,
Oh.
no. we gotta-
What kinds of different things? Some of these look like genuine antiques. You've made them look that way, haven't
yes,
you?
yes.
They look like
they're antique. Yeah.
they look like early American.
We like the country look, the primitive, the country type style. So, and some of the stuff is a little bit of mix. There's other stuff in there too.
There's so many items here. It's hard for me to focus on one, but
We
you
can stuff a lot in a little
you
section.
have boxes and bunnies. I love that bunny down here.
Yep, the tube sets of bunnies.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
two. The other one is
There's two.
facing me.
Yep, yep.
And we got Raggedy Ann and Andy down in the bottom.
Yep.
Special favorites of mine.
You like Raggedy Ann and Andy?
Oh,
We used to
my
have the stand-up
goodness.
ones a few years ago.
Really?
Yep. The rooster and soapbox, all that stuff. Lots of it.
Do you retire some of your items, or do you keep making the ones that are most successful, or how does that work?
The signs really go. I keep making the signs. The other stuff we try to just keep moving and go on to different things.
How can you
Do a lot of
not sell a lot of signs that say "Live well, laugh often, and love
I
much"?
sell a lot of those signs.
Of course.
Yep.
Put that right over the door and think about it.
Yep.
I like what we
All the
believe in
stuff.
Santa too.
And that's reversible. It says liberty and justice for all on the other side.
Oh no, reversible.
Yeah, it's reversible. That's the last one of them. I did those years ago. That's the last one of them. A
Uh-huh.
lot of stuff. The plates are new this year. The candlesticks are a hit.
Candlesticks sell every time, everywhere,
Yep.
don't they? People love candles.
Yep. So
Oh, and the painting is really, really good. So you weren't this good right from the very beginning, were you? Or were you?
I like to be. I might have to be perfect and straight. I have a hard time doing the primitive stuff because I like to be straight, but
Oh, really?
so
Crooked is okay when it's primitive.
I know it is, and it's very hard for me to do, but
Now, how about this Christmas tree behind us is really neat. Tell
Yep.
me what went into putting that together.
the Christmas tree we bought, and then the other stuff, some of it's painted and put on there, or just made to look primitive.
Is
So little
this
stars.
Is this a real spool?
It's a wooden spool, is
A
what it
real
is.
wooden spool?
Uh-huh.
Isn't
Just
that
purchased the
amazing?
wooden spool, and then I painted it and put the star on it. The plates painted.
Absolutely. Just so neat.
Thank
you make
you.
new stuff every year, or
Yeah, we blend stuff in every year.
do you really?
Yep. Yep.
Now, do you do other shows besides Plattsburgh?
We do Christmas in the country. which is it's in the Fort Anderson, the Kingsbury area, down in our lower southern area. And you go to different houses and there's a door prize and you serve desserts and drinks and
I never heard of such a thing.
Christmas in the country. Yeah, it's
what
down.
a wonderful idea.
Yeah, it is. I do really well at that one. And that's actually, we're not going to do the other one that we did in the past. We're just going to do the 2. It's too much. It's a lot of lugging. All those
Imagine
boxes
it is.
and the truck's full, and we bring a trailer in the fall, but we just brought the truck. Yeah,
Well,
we got to have the Christmas stuff in the fall. So
Now we're doing this in the spring of 2008, and this is a one-day affair from 10 to 5.
Yes.
Fall is 2 days,
Yes.
right? Do you stay both days?
we stay. We come up on Friday and we leave Sunday night. So it's too far to drive up on Saturday morning and unload, and so we come up and stay here, and then
We never cease to be amazed at how far some of the crafters come to bring their stuff here.
I like the homemade crafts. I don't like the stuff that people buy and resell. So I really like the homemade crafts. I really think that that's what a craft sale is about.
Well,
so,
you've got, and you had to think about how to do you set it up the same way every time you do the
No.
show? No?
No.
Whatever
No.
seems to look
you have
good
to
at
mix
the
it
time.
in, and yep, you'd never remember where to put all this stuff every time.
No, I wouldn't. I just
No, you
because
wouldn't.
it's so tastefully done, and there's so much stuff. It's hard to focus on one, but I love it all. You're gonna have to tell your mother what she missed now.
I know. I'm gonna kick her.
Yeah. I've called other people a
Mother?
chicken before, but the second the camera went on, she was gone.
She did.
She moves pretty
You guys
fast
walked
for.
up and she was gone.
I love it. It's great to meet you. Good luck
Thank
with
you.
your show. Have
Thank
a wonderful
you.
day.
You too. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye bye now.
So where are we?
And we're doing it again. Ann Burtom, how are you?
I'm good.
The only reason I knew that is because she just told me before the
Right.
camera went on.
Right.
I don't think
Right.
we've ever met before. Ann, where are you
No?
from?
I'm from close to Potsdam, Parrishville, New York.
Oh, do I know where Parrishville is?
Oh, yeah?
Did I graduated from Moira High School 100 million years ago, and I can tell you stories about Parrishville in the olden days. That's a great spot. Have you
Yeah.
always lived there?
No, I lived in Moira for a while.
Come on.
And then I've lived all over the country.
Oh, see that? Everything is connected, and Moira, of course, has a.
And we all settle in the North Country.
Isn't it? If we don't, we wish we could.
Yeah, right.
No kidding. You lived in Moira during what period of time?
1975 to 77.
Oh, see, I was long gone. I was 20 years gone from Moira by then, but I go back.
Okay.
We'll have another class reunion coming up at the end of May, so I'll return to say hi to my friends.
And
And they'll all be so much older than I am.
do you remember Colton,
Colton?
New York, which is right next door to Parrishville?
Did I learn to ski in South Colton?
Okay, well,
In the old days when you had to
in
put the
this-
rope on the rope tow
Yeah.
yourself?
In the summer, I work for the town of Colton, and I work in a program where we do black fly and mosquito abatement. And a lot of the work here today shows that.
That's amazing.
You can walk over here and see. And just last week, I
Look
was
at this.
going to ponds treating for mosquitoes, and these frogs were jumping. And the turtles have not developed yet. They haven't been born yet, but the frogs are already jumping.
Oh my.
And pretty soon I'll be seeing the damselflies.
Don't you love them?
Yeah.
I love dragonflies, damselflies. I've written a lot about dragonflies because
Oh,
for
yeah?
some reason I'm connected with them because they used to call them devil's darning needles when I was a little boy.
Okay, and in my job I get to watch all the different kinds of dragonflies and frogs and turtles as they
Okay,
develop.
Isn't that great? And if you can abate the black flies and mosquitoes, you'll be a friend forever.
Oh, well, and we do it with a pesticide called BTI, which only affects the black flies and mosquitoes, so it doesn't affect your songbirds or your other insects, so the fish still have plenty to eat.
How did you get involved with that?
Well, it's a program that's been going for about 25 years, and I knew some people who had done it, and so I just...
Isn't that absolutely terrific?
Yeah, it's a great program.
And we don't know what's happening to all our bats up here, which eat the insects, and the bat population is being diminished. And we-
I would imagine it's some sort of pollutant.
You know, it could
Yeah,
be. And then we have
yeah.
friends in the beekeeping business, and the bees have been dying off. So
Right.
Who
We
knows?
want things to live.
we do what
So we have to purify. So what do you think of something new that comes to this area that I see as I drive into Clinton County, the windmills?
Well, I want you to know you've come to the right place.
Okay.
Because we're huge fans. Calvin and I
Okay.
are huge fans.
Okay.
We've just finished 2 full-length television shows
Okay.
for Noble Environmental Power about the windmills down in Chateauguay, Cherubusco area, and we plan to do as many more as they'll have us do. We've interviewed the politicians.
Okay.
We've taken video of the windmills from the first section to the last section, and then when they started to turn, we cheered.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
there are good things and bad things. When the alternative to wind power is nuclear, you want it, but there are some problems that people have when it's close to where they live.
you know, we've interviewed
Yeah.
so many farmers who
Yeah.
have them on their land.
Yeah.
We've stood underneath them when they're turning, and we've resolved the issue of noise.
They don't bother me, but some people definitely get sick.
It's
from
interesting,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway,
But I heard in an environmental magazine that I get that the compromise would be to make sure they are so much distance from any place, and they worry about farmland because it could affect the animals.
well,
Yeah.
once again, we've done our own
But
research.
it's an interesting thing. I live in a house where I have so much wind that I'm interested in getting a small windmill.
You can get 'em.
You can, but my builder says they're mechanical, and until we have someone who repairs them in our area, the closest repair person is in Lowville, and it's too far.
Well, now they've got new technology
Yeah.
of a different kind of windmill that turns this way instead of this way.
Oh, well, I
and
need
they're-
it going this way because I have so much wind, it has blown out the screens on my screen
is it?
porch. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, we've covered every subject
Yes,
known to
we
man. Let's
have.
talk about what you brought here with you here today.
Okay,
And
well,
what have you brought?
I brought stoneware and porcelain pottery, and as I said, a lot of the motifs I use on it come from my job in the summer: frogs, dragonflies, and turtles. I love to cook and I love to eat, so I also make many utilitarian things like mugs and bowls and plates over here.
Oh, yeah, let me get over here next to you so we can take pictures.
These ones here, I studied pottery in California where there was a lot of Japanese influence, and this is an old Japanese glaze, these glazes here. So I still carry that sort of influence. Somebody was admiring my pot with a nude on it, which I said the human body is a beautiful thing, and there's lots of art.
Now, you call this a
indicated in it.
pot?
These are vases.
Ah.
Yup. Both
So-
of them. So you would put like large flowers, like
Oh,
gladiolas,
I don't think
things
I've
like
ever
that.
seen anything quite like that before.
Well, no. If you haven't seen my work, you haven't seen something like that.
Well, I love your work.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Look,
Yeah.
is that really
It's a brushstroke of iron. Iron is a wonderful natural pigment. I had friends who used to get their iron for their art by grinding up old rust.
that amazing?
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
very interesting and very.
And I use both throwing on the potter's wheel, and I hand build a lot of things.
Oh, you do?
Yes. These are all made with slabs. These are all made with slabs. Of course, the tiles are made with slabs. Yeah.
Tiles will always be popular, won't they? Because they have a great history in our nation and,
Yes.
and in Europe and
Yes.
so on.
Yes.
People love tiles, and
Yeah.
they can buy old ones and new ones.
Right.
So,
Right.
how did you develop this? You have so many passions. How did you get into this one?
Pottery?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was married to a man who, when I was accepted at Berkeley, which we used to call Berkeley in the old
Yeah,
days,
yeah.
he wouldn't move up there. So I had a semester to reapply to a different branch of the University of California, and I happened to take a pottery course. And from that time on, I was just talking to a man who is taking a course every semester or two at the college here. And ever since I touched it, for 20 years, I worked wherever I could. And it wasn't for, maybe it was 15 years that I had the opportunity to do it on a more full-time basis. There was a period of 20 years where I did it nothing but making pottery. And now I combine pottery with other things. I just got through being a tax preparer.
Oh my goodness.
But running a business prepares you to help other people do things with their financial life.
Yeah.
Because if you run a business and you can't deal with taxes and financial things, you die.
Have you thought about teaching this wonderful art?
I unfortunately don't like to, I don't know why I'm sitting here talking to you, but I really don't like getting up in front of people and talking. So
the more you do it, the easier it is.
No, for some people. I occasionally go into schools and as a visiting artist, and I do it with teachers I know so we can have a good dialogue.
You could also.
I knew you would carry part of the conversation.
Oh, but you know what? You could teach in a home setting, in your own home setting, or in your own studio.
My home is my palace, and I don't want a lot of people coming in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Many people feel that way.
Yeah. No, I won't teach in my home. And you can't teach in your own working studio because you end up moving other people's things a bajillion times. I've done it for friends who taught disabled people, and I don't mind doing it for a few people.
That's very magnanimous. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So how many different kinds of objects do you make, do you think?
I don't know.
Just dozens and dozens, right?
Yes.
Whatever comes into your mind at a given time?
Sure. And over the years, you drop some things. Some designs,
We don't mean drop them and smash them, but stop making them.
That too.
I love it. So are you always looking for new ideas? Are you looking at books, or are you looking at other?
No, I grow organically rather than conceptually.
I
mean, some of the things I do because I love art, and my art education was going to museums. My mother took me to museums as a young child.
What a wonderful legacy to leave your daughter, huh?
Yeah. So I have, but I don't. I was visiting a friend last night who has sketchbooks full of new ideas, but no, I grow while I work. Yeah. It changes while I work with it. Yeah.
It's probably better that way. Well, a lot less stress.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah.
So
one of the store owners I do business with says, "Well, what are you doing? What are your new ideas for the spring?" And I'm thinking, well, who knows? And sometimes I don't even think I change, but it's friends who come and say, "Well, I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this." And
it's
I don't even consciously change.
And time flies when you're working at it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. It's a delight to have you here. Have you been to this craft fair before?
Yes. Over the years, for 30 years. I don't come every year, but yeah.
They have a big one in the fall, too.
Right.
Where you think you'll come back?
Probably.
Well, I hope so.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Ann. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Just keep doing it.
Have fun.
Bye-bye. See, I'm getting smarter and smarter. I ask names before the camera goes on. It's Carla Baker.
That's right, Carla Baker.
Where are you from?
From Shazy, and my company is Nordic Skin Essentials.
Well, this is a new one on me. Tell me all about it.
I make, manufacture, and sell all natural skincare products. There's no artificial fragrances or anything like that in my products, or chemicals of any kind. It's all natural. I sell a little bit of everything. All natural bug off lotion, and it actually keeps the bugs away.
Okay, that's a good place to start in the spring in this region.
It is tested by my family, and they swear by it. And lotions and face creams and all sorts of different things for keeping you looking good.
Now, is this program nationwide, or is it something you developed for you?
I developed for it's my company, my recipes, my everything. I created all myself. I have a online company that I sell it through. My company, NordicSkin.com. Yes, it's all done out of my home. I make everything out of my home.
How did you come up with the name?
Because we're from northern New York, of course. So Nordic. I'm also we're Scandinavian, descent. My grandparents all came from Norway. Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So that's where we all came up with the name. My whole family created the color. We were like, what color and what name and all that. It's a whole family affair.
Everything's blue. I love it. And blue is my favorite color.
Well, that's good. Glad to hear that.
That's great. But was it your idea for the blue, or did everybody kind of...
Everybody had a little say on it, yeah.
Input.
Yes, a little.
You've been doing this how long, Carla?
Well, I started making it for like gifts and stuff for, family and friends, and because my daughter is allergic to like fragrances, and that's how it started. And then like 3 years ago, my brother was like, well, we can do this, you can sell this online. So that's when it became an actual company. It was like 3 years ago. So I've been selling online for 3 years now, and I do phone calls to everybody in Clinton County. I also sell at Nordic Conroy's Organics up in Beekmantown.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how many different kinds of products?
Well, this is just a little bit of everything that I have, but I have like over 100 different products over the years, because somebody will come to me and say, I really like a product that has this in it, and I make it. So then it becomes a new Nordic product.
You almost have to study chemistry to figure this stuff out. How did you do it?
It just, you start with a basic formula of how much butter you need to put in something, how much oil, how much aloe vera. Everything's aloe vera based, because you need like a water, and aloe vera is my water, and then an oil, and that's how you get it. And there's different formulations to get like a cream or a lotion, and then you add other things in depending on what people want.
What a fascinating idea. Look out, Avon. Boy, Carla's here with Nordic.
That would be a good thing.
That's terrific. Is this your first time at this fair?
No, I've been coming here. This is probably my 4th time.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, my 4th time. She puts me in various spots, so I have 2 booths this time, and we'll see how it goes.
It's a good spot, and I hope you're very successful.
Oh, thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Carla.
Yeah, you too.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you very much.
Well, guess what? Mother and daughter seems to be a prevalent theme here
is
this
it really?
weekend. Lots of moms and daughters
That's
here.
nice to know.
Who are you?
I'm Carol Laughlin from Lewis, the
And?
big town of Lewis.
Lauren Frawley from Westport.
Oh, delighted to have you here. I'm
Thank
Gordy
you.
Little, and this is Calvin Castine from Hometown Cable.
nice.
So you didn't have to travel too far to get down here.
No, 35 miles.
Yeah, just a nice little jaunt,
Yes.
and about a gallon and a half of that.
Well, we won't
almost
even, let's not think about that.
$4 gasoline. Well, you have an interesting collection with you here. Tell me a little bit
Thank
about
you.
it.
Well, I'm primarily the knitter, and so I knit children's sweaters, and I like working with the colors and so forth, and been doing that for a long time. And then we both do these beautifully beaded scarves, which are one of a kind.
I'm so glad scarves are still around. At different places, times in our history, scarves are everywhere, called many different things by many different names in various cultures, but they're still here and they're still wonderful. I love both. How tasteful and beautiful.
Thank you. They can really make or break an outfit.
Yeah.
Plain black dress, put a pretty scarf on it, and you go
got
out to dinner. Yeah. My daughter does the jewelry. That's her.
Jewelry?
I do, yeah.
Tell me about it.
There's not a whole lot to tell, except that I was really interested into finding something that was just creative that came out. I always felt I was creative, but I wanted to do something that it just flowed out of me. I found jewelry.
We're seeing that so many people have creative genes, and a lot of that creative energy is completely untapped until one day somebody is inspired by a teacher, by a television show, a picture in a book, or in one case, a lady who does pottery, nature.
Nature, oh yes.
You see a frog and you want to make a cup with a frog on the side.
Right.
So have you always knitted?
Well, boy, I started for my grandchildren. Okay, and the oldest grandchild now is 28 years old. So I have been doing it for a while.
That's wonderful. But why knitting and not crocheting, or do you do that as well?
I can watch the Yankees play and knit at the same time.
Dear, where's my Yankee hat?
Oh, I'm so glad you weren't a Red Sox fan.
Even though they lost last night.
Did they really? I don't get my nines.
I say bad things at my television set sometimes.
Are you a Rangers fan as well?
Actually, I like the Rangers, but
last night.
Now that Montreal is coming back this year, I don't know.
Competition.
Yes, but they wrecked downtown Montreal, so how can you root for them?
They did a job. It was crazy, wild and crazy people.
Too much enthusiasm.
Like some of the South American soccer matches.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So did you raise your family in northern New York, or you always lived here? Or?
Well, no, actually, I was born in the Bronx. My husband is from New Jersey.
Wonderful Bronx?
I can get it back.
As soon as she gets close to it, it comes out.
I don't hear any accent at all.
And my husband was from New Jersey. And so we moved up here actually from Pennsylvania because he was in construction. And so he, moved around where the high-rise buildings were. But Laurie has spent most of her life up here when we moved up here over 35 years ago. She's not that old.
There are a lot of worse places to live in the world in northern New York.
Oh, it's beautiful up here.
We spend a lot of time promoting it on the local cable systems.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place to live. It's the economy. If it allows you to live up here, you have to feel especially appreciative, really.
Yeah.
I always do. Especially when the summer is just about over and everybody who can't live here has to go home. I'm always grateful that I can stay.
And you certainly have nimble fingers, I'll tell you that.
Thank you. Keeps me from getting cabin fever.
What? I see hats and gloves.
Oh, these are Millie Walsh's. We have to give Millie credit. She knits the mittens. These are Millie's mittens.
Millie's mittens.
Millie is from Elizabethtown. The lady is in her 80s. And she's knitted mittens for I don't know how long.
What is that little rhyme about the kittens?
Yeah, lost their mittens. Yeah,
golly.
When they want new ones, Millie has them. Yeah, she's from Elizabethtown. Give Elizabethtown a visit.
Does she make different size
Yeah, she does
scoops?
Too. Yeah.
Different size mittens?
Yeah.
She's got the really, really, really little ones.
The little teeny ones. Aren't they beautiful?
And then, small and large for adults.
Look at the colors.
Yeah.
These orange and red's beautiful over here.
Well, we go in for color, as you can tell.
Oh, I like it.
That's what hits the eye.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, how many different things did you bring with you? Lots.
Oh, lots.
We don't want to count. That would just make us
no
feel
fun.
unhappy.
As long as you only count one or two at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
There you
the rest
go.
Of them are
Okay.
gone. It's a great pleasure to meet both of you.
Well,
Thanks so much for saying hi, and good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, we got some cool stuff here. I'm Gordy Little.
Carl Roberts.
How you doing? From Adirondack Birch Works.
Oh, great. What's the first name?
Carl Roberts.
Carl Roberts. Great to meet you. Adirondack Birch Works.
Yeah.
There's a unique name for you. Say that 3 times fast.
No, but it's with an X, not a K on the end. So
no kidding.
It's a different, unique name, yeah.
All right, where do you live?
I'm from Saranac, but we're out of Plattsburgh. We got a shop in Plattsburgh.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about this stuff. This is certainly North Country.
It's called Twiggin. We make birdhouses.
I like that. Twiggin. Yeah,
we're twiggers. And we do beds, dressers, picture frames, birdhouses, coffee table, end stands, bars. Custom make anything you want. If you bring it in, we can twig it. Or if you want to reproduce it, we'll twig it.
In, baby, we'll twig it. That's what a wonder. How did you start?
I started doing like little wood stuff, years ago, and then I got in with a partner of mine, and we just started doing it and putting it together, and as we create it, it just changes, and one piece ain't never the same. Wood don't grow the same way twice.
How many times have we gone into Adirondack museums like the Adirondack Museum in Blue Mountain Lake, and you see buildings there's twig work everywhere.
Yeah.
You go into Teddy Roosevelt's homestead in Oyster Bay, and you see twig work everywhere.
Yeah.
You go into the Adirondack camps, right?
Yep.
The old the old great camps, and you see a lot of twig work.
Yeah, the twigging, it's not very big around here, but Lake Placid, Keene, All Sable area. I'd like to get bigger in Plattsburgh, but it's just it's the clientele that wants it, you know.
Well, there are many people who build homes and they want twig work in their banisters.
Yeah. We'll wrap door frames and window frames with the birch bark.
That's a
and twig
great
it.
idea.
Yeah, poly it up, looks pretty good.
Have you done that before?
We've done it in offices in Lake Placid, yeah. So,
no kidding.
Yeah. So it's pretty unique. If anybody wants it done, we'll do it.
I got a son that lives up in Saranac Lake, and he did a lot of twig work for I don't know the guy's name, but he built a house 25,000 square feet in Connecticut, and Bruce worked over a year there. Bruce is my son.
I know Bruce. I did some work with him in Saranac Lake. Yeah.
See how small the world is?
He's doing this now.
If you like to fish, then he's the man who'll go fishing with you.
I fished with him years ago. Yeah. Is he doing the twigging?
Well, he's kind of retired. He hasn't done any twigging in a long time. He fell off a ladder and broke his foot. So he does a little work here and there, but he loves to do the twig work.
Yeah, I seen some of his railings. He does railings on camps and stuff like that. Yeah, he does pretty good work. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I said it's a small world. What are these picture frames?
Yeah, that's grapevine, wild grapevine.
Come on.
Yep, but it shrinks up because you got to get it. You got to get it green. This set here, we make other sets, but you have to do it green so the bark stays on when you poly it, and then it shrinks. But it's pretty unique grapevine. We use a lot of grapevine, birch, pine, cedar. Maple, cherry.
All natural, North Country.
All from the Adirondacks, all kinds of wood, yellow birch, white birch, rock maple. Yep.
So this is all your stuff over here.
Oh yeah.
Did you bring 2 trucks or 7 vans?
There was a couple loads. We didn't even bring everything. We didn't have enough room. This is my first time here, so I didn't know.
Oh, it is?
I didn't. We just started in October, so I didn't know how big the spot was, how many people were going to show, or what size of the furniture.
You might be surprised, and a lot of people who are here now, they get tuned up on this one and then come back in the fall for the big 2-day.
Well, I'll be here. We will be here. Oh yeah, we'll be here for that.
I guess you have to sign up early because they hanging from the rafters trying to get in here.
I got in a week in advance, a week earlier on this one. I called in a week. I didn't hear anything about it the week before.
Oh, it's great. I hope a lot of people stop by. This program actually won't be on television for several weeks, but people will know who you are.
I hope
when you go home today, you got to call Bruce up and say, "Hey, guess what I did today?"
I got his number. I'll definitely give him a call.
I love what you do, Carl. Good luck with this. I think you'll be very, very successful.
I appreciate it.
See you later.
I hope so. Thanks.
And for those people who are just turning on their television sets, too bad you missed half the show already. We're at the Field House on Ruger Street in Plattsburgh on the 26th day of April 2008 at the annual Spring, not Sping, even though we saw that on a sign earlier, typographical error. Spring Arts and Craft Show, and glad to be here. Who we got here?
This is John Briette.
John, how are you?
Very good.
Who we got over here?
Mike Burnell.
John Briette and Mike Burnell.
Awful combination.
What a pair. What do you got here today, guys?
Well, we have some woodworking that we do in our shop in the backyard.
Where's the backyard?
In Morrisonville, New York.
Not a bad place to live,
That's the best place, Gordy, right?
It's a little ways from me, though, right? Where is it?
Oh, not too far, Sand Road, Morrisonville.
Up in the Sand Road.
Yeah.
A hoop and a holler, as they used to say.
Oh, yes. Past your house every day.
Yep. So, what you got? Mailboxes.
We've got mailboxes.
Is there a regular mailbox inside there? Or how does that work?
It's just a regular, all mailbox. It's for big things. And this way, when the wind blows,
maybe my refund check would fit in there.
There you go. Yes, that's what I was thinking. It's got to be big for that.
But I made them so when they shut, the wind can't blow them open. And like that one I made on the thing. Because a lot of snowplows, they go by and they knock all people's mailboxes down.
Oh yeah.
Well, they got to replace them all though at some point in time. So I didn't know it was legal to have a wooden mailbox like that. I thought you had to have a tin thing or something. No,
they sell plastic. They sell all kinds of wooden ones.
So, isn't that interesting? Oh, we put the flag up. There's a letter to go.
Yes.
What a clever idea. What a clever idea. What else you got here? Show.
And this is
Wait a minute, Calvin's over here.
right over here. We got some pictures. That my girlfriend Debbie, Merrill. She does the paintings.
No kidding. She's very, very good.
Yep, and that's her standing right over there if you want to flash the camera over there. Her back's to us because she's bashful.
Debbie, we need you. Get over here a minute. You do beautiful paintings. Let me stand here. I love this. How long have you been painting?
I did my first one in 04.
Come on, just 4 years ago?
Yes.
Did you take lessons or what?
Yes.
Where?
It's a class at the United Way in Plattsburgh.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow, you got a. You didn't draw before that? You didn't do painting before that?
Nope. Well, started in 04 and took off from there.
I'm very, very impressed. Now, where do you look at photographs or do you visit?
They're all picture Bob Ross paintings.
Oh, I see.
We just take some pictures of his, and we can do 2-3 of them and combine them together. And
oh, I won't tell him you did that. That's great. And you sign your name the same way every time?
yes.
Some people over the years, as you get well known, you might decide you want a little fancier. I love them. I love them. I didn't look over here when I first talked to the guys. How many did you bring with you?
I brought 15.
How long would you spend on one of these paintings? Let's say this one right over here. How many hours?
About 4 hours.
I can't believe it. I'd be a year and a half and then I wouldn't be happy with it. No kidding. 4 hours?
Yep.
I think that's great. Debbie, I know you're shy. Thank you so much for talking with us. Those are great. Let me get over here and you show me what else you brought today. Oh, she did.
We've got a coat tree here.
This
was my own idea right here. I designed it.
Idea.
The hat, put the hats up there, coats, and the umbrellas.
Isn't that great? Everybody in the old days used to have an umbrella tree in their front hallway, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's strong enough to hold a heavy coat.
Oh, yes.
That's
and we got the coat tree there.
This more simple one. Signs. Well house.
Yep. We got everything. Got these nice little shelves here.
Although the people knick-knack
3/4
shelves.
moon. Yes, perfect.
People have been making those for years. They used to make them like a half moon or like
this
a new
is a 3/4 moon.
3/4 moon.
Yep.
Some of them have little stairs on them. I've seen
them
in different places. So then you got, what is that, a jewelry box?
Got a jewelry box in the back over here.
Oh, Calvin can see it. I'll sneak over this way. That's pretty clever.
Yeah, I designed that so they can hang their necklaces on it.
You've got to be kidding.
You know how they get tangled up? So
yeah.
And all the drawers.
So you stain everything that you do?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sometimes we'll leave it plain if that's their choice. Their preference, they want to do it what they want to do with it.
What's this, candle holders?
Candle holders.
Little shelves.
Oh yeah.
On the wall.
That makes sense.
Bird houses.
You gotta have bird houses, right?
Bird feeders that were up in the front here.
Yeah, the well. I like that well idea. A lot of people like a little well on their front yard, or that's very, very clever. You got a stool here, right?
Yes.
How many different kinds of things do you make?
Right now we've made 100.
Come on.
100 different things since beginning of winter.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to pause for a minute and answer my phone. Oh, I'm sorry. One of my kids called me on the phone, wanted to know if there was a burning ban. We're doing this toward the end of April when it's really dry. And I heard it's going to do some serious raining over the weekend, I hope. We need it. Okay, you know what?
What?
We love your pictures. We discovered more on this side.
Yep, there's lots of them.
We love to talk to people who are going to be famous.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say rich and famous, but I'm not so sure about the rich stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe not rich, but just famous of popularity.
So do you have a special place in your house where you love to paint?
No.
Just wherever the spirit moves you?
That's right.
I love to draw and so on, but I don't do much painting. But do you paint flat? or do you put it on an easel? Or?
On the easel.
On the easel, the good way.
Yes.
I don't know the guy's name. He's got longer hair, and he has a show on television where he paints pictures.
Bob Ross.
Is this the guy that you've been emulating here?
Yes.
Oh, and I say to myself, how can he paint that picture in half an hour? How can he do that?
It's amazing.
Wouldn't you love to meet the guy?
I would in a way, but then again, I don't know if I want to because my pictures aren't as good as his.
You know what? Everybody has to start somewhere, and he's a teacher, as you know, and he's a very good teacher. Although I'm not sure I could ever learn anything watching him. All I do is say, how does he do that? You know, he takes the wide brush and makes these beautiful... It's hard, isn't it?
It is, yes. It takes some time, and you've got to play with it. And
well, I know you're gonna do original stuff in the future. You're gonna take digital photographs, you're gonna set them up, and you're gonna paint those photographs. And maybe next year, or maybe in the fall, or some other time, you'll show us some other paintings, and your name will be in headlights.
maybe.
Or headlines, either way. You just keep making your good stuff here. You got any new ideas for later this summer, or same old stuff, or what?
We're probably going to add into maybe some planters, for the front yard or on your windowsill. That's one of the things we're shooting at.
Where do you store all this stuff when you get it made?
Well, on the side I have like a lean-to that I slide it in on, but I know I'm going to probably have to build another building just to store the stuff that I make.
You know what I've learned today and in other years? There are so many clever people around, and it's so cool for me to meet people who've got different ideas. Nobody makes this stuff quite like you do.
No, it's just, it comes out of my head. I say I know I want to make, say, this coat tree. And I start with the base, and then I say, okay, I'm going to I go as I go, I make it. And it comes out. I said, well, if I do it this way, that'll be all right. And then I said, nah, and have to start all over again. But it's all out of the head.
And just think, in 100 years, there'll be some kind of a show on whatever television has become by then, called the Antiques Roadshow.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll be saying, look at what this guy made on the sand road at Morrisonville.
Well, I hope it
looks
is.
like your stuff is tough enough to last.
Oh, yes. Yes. Very it's heavy. It ain't going to fall over when you put a coat on it, I'll tell you that.
I love it. You guys are the best. Thanks so much.
Well,
Keep
thank you, Gordy.
painting. You do it so well.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys later.
You betcha.
Bye-bye. When you go to a show like this, some things just catch your eye. And I was rounding the corner way back there, and I said, oh, look at this. I don't know if we've interviewed you in the past.
No, not at all.
What's your name?
Diane Laboum Bard from Peru.
Of course. North, so many
See you
wonderful...
on TV all the time.
Oh, my goodness. You're very kind to say that. Diane.
Yeah, and this is my first show.
Come on.
Yeah, my first show. I've been making these for like 4 years. So I finally got a good collection together, and we decided maybe we should just do a show. So my husband made a beautiful sign, advertised my big business card, and I have been in the Adirondack Museum store as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I sold a few dolls there.
That's not a bad place to be.
No, not at all.
We got to go back up there and do another show. It takes a little while to get there, but you know what? It's worth it. What a wonderful place, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did you start this unique idea? I love it. This is just so cool. Yeah, that's the best of all.
He's got a scar on his face and everything.
Oh, yeah, he's bad.
Actually, my mom is from Jay, New York, and they live on the John Fountain Road. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Of course.
And we lived there for quite a few years, but my mom grew up actually a daughter of a farmer and a young wife. He went into the service, came home. They got married, and there was actually mom and my aunt, the only two children. And my grandmother died at a very young age, so my mother was only 6 years old. But when she was 5 years old, she remembered a doll that her mom had given her. It was a little cloth doll, kind of primitive. And shortly after she passed away, Mom never found the doll again. It just came missing. And she told me about it just a few months ago. And I decided I was going to make a doll from her memory, and I...
Did she describe it for you?
Yeah, it took her a while. It took her a while to come up with what she thought it looked like. I just kept asking her questions and asking her questions.
Isn't it like a police sketch, you know?
So I made the doll anyways, and I went down and I showed it to her when I was done.
Did you cry?
Close to tears. Yeah.
Oh, don't you love it? Oh,
yeah.
Diane, you're melting my heart.
Yeah. So,
Isn't that a wonderful story?
Yeah.
So now it's her most prized possession.
I think so, and I just love doing the dolls. They're really unique. They're one of a kind. I haven't seen
Every
anything
single
like this.
one is one of a kind.
Yeah, exactly.
And none of them looks like you.
Not yet.
Like somebody's mother or father.
or mother-in-law. Yes. Oh, don't you love it?
The memory ones too.
This is.
Yes, and I do memory dolls too. I've done a couple of those.
Tell me about that.
I'm a volunteer for hospice. So what I have done, and it's not really advertised in hospice yet, I've just done it for a couple of friends who lost a member of their family.
Oh, my.
With a piece of clothing from that person that is deceased, I would create an outfit.
You got
And
it.
with a picture, I would create a doll.
What a wonderful idea.
Right. And put a little tag on it with that person's name.
Oh.
And people just love it. They love the idea.
I can't say enough about hospice.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and again, you'll see a little letter to the editor in the paper about what hospice means to me or my family.
Absolutely.
But these people deserve so much.
Yeah,
credit.
it's a
And
great...
What a wonderful idea with an article of the clothing.
Yes,
Has that
absolutely.
been done before? How did you
No,
get that?
I don't know. I guess my husband and I were talking about it one day. Thought it would be a great idea, and like I said, I made a couple for my friend that really turned out well, using a little photo, just a small snapshot, and with the glasses and hair, and it comes out pretty much like that person's looks.
You know, I will never forget you telling that story about your mother's doll. Because I was reading in one of those old magazines that talks about the old days.
Reminisce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
About a lady who was a little girl who had her only doll because people couldn't afford to buy real things in the store.
Right.
She and her brother were picking the bugs off potatoes. They would get so much a potato bug to drop in a bucket of kerosene or whatever we used to do, and her little doll fell out of her apron. It probably got plowed under the field, the next time around.
Oh.
And I don't know how many recently, so it's like 50 years later, somebody was plowing that field.
They didn't
and
find
came
it.
up with the doll and handed it to her.
Oh,
That's why I said, did your mother cry? Because you imagine that little girl who lost her doll, like your mother who lost her doll.
Yeah. Well, Mom had a tough life growing up on a farm, and there was just her father who worked very hard on 2 farms. He owned the former Sable Acres.
Oh, yes.
Quite a few acres up there, like 140.
Oh, yes.
And he had a farm up there and one on the lower J Road. And like I said, my grandmother died when she was only 6. She just had a tough life, and she had to be like a farmhand at age 7 and just work until she married my dad.
How many of those stories have we heard, and we wonder why that's a tough generation, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, So what inspires you for all? I mean, some of these, I have to tell you, Diane, some of these are really weird, really strange.
They are, like the Siamese twin doll.
Yes, I know. I saw.
You've
That's
seen
the
them all?
first thing I
Okay.
saw when I came up. I didn't even see the guy in the cage. So what is this?
I
Just
don't
in the
know.
middle of the night you jump out of
Yeah,
bed
well-
and say, "Oh my God," and your husband says, "Oh my God, what?"
At any time, I was driving, and one day I just thought, geez, I got a bird cage at home. What if I made a prisoner? And for some reason, I just went to a thrift
Don't
store.
you love the way
and
that
I
mind
found-
works?
And I found an old
It keeps
sheet.
you right on your toes, doesn't it, baby?
2 o'clock in the morning, he's up sewing.
Yeah, see, isn't it? You get an idea and you have to do it.
Yeah, it just comes to mind, and I just do it. The biggest part of making a doll is just creating the actual cloth doll, and I have to tea dip it twice usually.
What'd you say? Tea dip it?
Tea dip it.
What the heck does that mean?
Tea and water,
You gotta
hot
be kidding.
water, and then
Just
you
to
just
brown it like that?
Yeah, and put it in the sun. So I put all my dolls out on the porch.
See,
and let 'em-
people don't know that. People
Yeah.
don't know that unless you tell them.
yeah, exactly.
Put it out on the porch in the sun.
And the sun just really bakes it right in, so it gets that nice effect. I don't know, the ideas come and I just go with it.
Well,
so.
people have made primitive dolls before, and we've interviewed other
Yes.
people. That's why I asked you, Diane, when we came up. But everybody who makes them, their mindset is different than everybody else's.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, what? Did you have a professional life before this, or do you do
Yes, I
something
worked
else?
for Key Bank for many years.
Oh.
And then I left and I decided I would get into hospice, and I started doing volunteering. My husband's mom lived with us for 5 years. She had cancer, so after she died, I decided to get into this a little more and hospice a little more, and that's basically what I do.
You every kind of conceivable article of clothing.
Oh,
One
yeah.
looks like a fur coat here in
Yeah.
the middle.
Yeah.
So how many varieties have you done? Hundreds?
Well, I've done probably 96 now. And these are only 38, I think. So I've sold quite a few.
Have you really?
Oh, yeah.
You don't say probably 96. You say probably 95, probably 100.
96
Well, I keep
now.
pretty good track, so 96.
96.
Yeah.
Oh, you
And
know.
I sold some to friends and hospice, my hospice friends as well as work. And
Donated some.
I've
Donated some. How, do you? Is there a particular kind that people really are attracted to that they like?
Odd stuff.
What?
The odd stuff.
Yeah, where everyone is odd stuff.
Actually, I don't know because this is my first show. Friends that see them, it just all depends. Sometimes they look like a family relative, so that individual says, oh my God, that looks like Uncle
and
Harry
people
or
would admit
Aunt
that?
Rose. Oh, yeah. Oh, really?
Forgive me for laughing, but
I just had a lady that bought a doll.
if I had a relative that looked like this, she would never hear me say it on television. I guarantee you that.
I just had a lady come by and she bought a doll and she wanted to know if I could just write her name on the tag instead of what was on it. So I took the tag off.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I've done that before for people.
Well, you like many other people who are creative, they do. You sign every one,
Yes,
right?
I do, and date it.
With your name?
My name.
Does each doll have a name?
Yes.
And how do you come up with new ones each time?
I go to the cemeteries
Oh dear God, here we go.
3-4
You go to
times
the
a summer,
cemeteries.
and I just write names down from the headstone.
Strange doesn't begin to describe it, does it?
I know.
I love it.
And my sister gave me a book. It has a lot of names in it, and I just come up with some from,
The internet will supply 10 billion names from all over the world.
Yeah,
You'll never
but I
run out.
never got any off the internet. Just
No, but you can if you're
oh,
brochure.
absolutely.
So
And I've got tons of names right
now,
now.
is this going to be a real vocation for you?
I'm
do you
hoping
think?
so. Yes, I'm pretty optimistic it's going to take off.
You know, I've met creative people today. We just talked to a young woman who's learned to paint within the last few years by watching this guy on television and copying his paintings, but she paints very well. How long did it take you before you got really good at this?
I think my first year I did well, but I think the following year I started doing a little bit more detailed work, so they stood out a little bit more, and then I just as time progressed, I was just making more unique faces.
How
and
long
stuff.
on each one? Have you actually timed yourself?
Yeah, I've got one doll. He took me probably 16 hours.
No, this guy with a vest on?
Yes.
I'd call him Vester if I were you. What's his name?
His name,
Oh, yeah, she forgot.
His name is Webster.
Oh, Webster. Okay.
I have made a butler before. I made a doll. Her name was Miss Wrinkles. She was very wrinkled.
Oh, that's great.
I've made several different ones. But they all take time. And like I said, making the doll is most of the
Are
time.
the faces all different fabrics or the same fabric?
All cotton sheets.
All cotton sheets.
Yeah, just cut them up.
Really?
And yep, that's all I do.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I could sit and talk to you all day. You're both great people. I didn't.
you.
Let me move over here one second. What's your first name?
Frank.
Frank. He thought he could escape.
Yeah.
There's no way, because he was the peanut gallery adding comments about 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
We're always up. We're up late, so she's always busy.
And he's a big help because he comes up with a lot of ideas. He made the beautiful sign, like I said. he's just good about creating, and he set up the display for me, basically.
How can you not be creative when you live on Quail Run?
Well, that's true.
Is that a relatively new street in Peru?
Probably about
Quaker Highlands.
They just changed
yeah,
it.
I know Quaker Highlands very well.
They just changed it with the 911 change.
they did?
It was Quaker Highlands Road, and now it's
So my
Quail
GPS
Run.
wouldn't be able to find you.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
does.
would.
It works.
Oh, it would?
Mine works.
Yeah.
Oh, yours work?
I know how to get home.
Well, we did very well. We went way up in the boondocks yesterday to out in the country, and I just typed in the street and the number, and we're driving. Turn left and 100 feet.
Yeah.
Isn't that the neatest thing today?
It works fantastic.
Yeah.
You've done, so you have how many different characters so far have you done?
96.
They're all different. There's no duplicates.
How could you possibly duplicate any one of them?
Well,
I know.
if someone wanted one, let's say there was a doll that they wanted, but they wanted 2 of them, I would make another one for that person. But I don't have duplicates.
Now, what are the books here? These
they're nice old storybooks that we picked up, and they're old type characters.
Yeah.
This is the old sock puppets, and that's just got a real beautiful. It has no significance to her dolls.
No.
But she got some characters out of the book.
Having raised a lot of kids and having tons and tons of children and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren, we love children's books at our house, and I have a special collection from my own childhood, from my mother's childhood, from her mother's childhood. So anytime I'm asked to read, I can grab one of these great old books.
That's great.
Mother Goose has special memory. Is it?
It's eclectic. I collect old antique toys, wind-up toys. So we have.
I may have to use that GPS yet.
We have a lot of those around the house.
Do you really?
Yeah, I make twig baskets.
When he retires, he's going to do a lot.
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
You have a lot of toys?
I have quite a few toys. Yeah, probably 100.
No, we're always looking for different subject matter for full-length
good to
television
know.
shows.
Yeah.
So my number's in the book, and give me a ring sometime, even before you retire. Okay, we're going to take the card. This is serious business. I suppose you designed the card too.
No, she actually did.
Okay,
All I did was blow it up and build a sign.
We don't blow it up in the sense that we got 20 tons of TNT. No, I know
I just
that.
enlarged.
You guys are great. I could talk to you all day. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good luck with this.
Thanks.
Although I have a feeling that you won't need it. Have a great day,
very
guys.
much. Bye.
Just a second. We were looking at the weird dolls back in the corner, and an old friend, Paul Heller, came up to me and said, "Wait a minute, you got to meet my son Adam. He's doing special stuff." Adam, I don't think you and I have met before.
No, I don't think we have actually.
Well, that's ridiculous. You were
happens.
you weren't brought up here though. You were down in where, Clifton Fine?
Yeah, Clifton Fine. That's right, the heart of the Five Ponds Wilderness area there.
Oh yeah.
Wanakina.
Then what'd you do after that?
What did I do? I went to school in Vermont, University of Vermont, for a while.
Oh, you went
4 years. I got a degree over there. Studied art. And
Of course you studied art.
What else did I do? I did a residency program for artists in residence program in Connecticut. And then I apprenticed at a shop in Rhode Island for 3 years. And that's where I really got into the lettering and sculpture.
Well, this kind of sculpture, what do we think of first? We think of gravestones.
Pretty much.
Monuments.
That's the big deal.
So, but you've gone beyond that, right?
Well, what we really are focusing on here is everything that we do, we draw and we carve by hand. So that's pretty much the emphasis of what we're showing and what we're trying to keep alive. Because it's amazing the detail you can get, and you can really do something that's really unique and really personal, and that's
why this aspect of art? I mean, this is a pretty specialized field.
Yeah. You mean why the lettering and sculpture, or why the memorial work?
Why the lettering and sculpture for you? Just something you were drawn to, or?
Well, first I was really drawn to stone and the process of carving stone, and particularly this is a marble, this is a limestone and slate, and these three, especially the slate, the detail that you can get. And you think of carving stone, you think it's pretty violent and pretty big, but it's really a very contained and a very precise craft, and I think that's what I love about it. You can see the detail.
This is an amazing design. Is that your own design?
That one is my business partner, Tracy Mahaffey, has designed and carved this one. and you can see the amazing detail. I mean, the slate is pressed silt.
Yep.
So it just in 300 years you can see the same chisel marks and the same detail on it.
Don't you love it? Now, is it? Are these done with mechanical tools?
Everything. We have the tools over here. These are some of our chisels.
All hand? Oh.
These are our typical 1 pound mallet. They're
oh, wow.
Brass mallet. You can feel it's pretty light. It's pretty simple. And now we have
it's heavy where it has to be, right?
Gives you a nice weight. And we're blessed with carbide materials now for the tips.
Oh, isn't that
so they're
much
super
better?
hard.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but
so all by hand.
All by hand, yeah.
As I've told somebody else earlier today, I'm a huge fan of the dragonfly.
Oh, you are? Okay.
So wherever it shows up, that's where I'm drawn. I love that motif.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Amazing creature.
It is truly amazing with a great, interesting, and sometimes mysterious and colorful history. So what kinds of things are you doing all the time? More than you are showing us here, I'm sure.
Well, our main work actually is memorials because it is a stable work, and obviously it costs a little bit of money to have people hand carve and hand design things. So memorials are a big part of what we do, and we're also branching out into more getting things for people's homes. Because it's so beautiful, we don't want all our work just to be outside memorializing people in cemeteries. That is really a wonderful thing. But we want to try to have some smaller things to have in the home and to bring pieces inside.
Give me some examples.
Well, this is one here. This is a piece. This is a quote by William Morris, who is a pretty famous fellow and headed up the arts and crafts movement. And his basic philosophy was humans have a lot to offer. And through design and through what we can do with our hands, as fabulous as machines are and computers are, the human element is irreplaceable. And I think that's a big part of what draws me to this craft, is that we can still do things because we're humans that machines can't do, and that's worth holding on to.
It sounds like a simple and sometimes overplayed theme, but I think it has to be. And that's something that Calvin and I, through Hometown Cable and his camera, have tried to perpetuate. It's so and we're all these arts and crafts here. People who are creative like you and other people who just all of a sudden within the last couple of years have discovered they have this native talent, inbred native talent that's just beginning to jump through the skin.
Yeah, it's I think it's very rewarding.
You were interested in art as a little kid though, Adam, right?
I have been, from painting from a young age.
Have you got a lot of your old drawings?
I have some. I've had to send a few on the way.
And father saved.
We have a collection, we do.
They always
paintings.
do.
Yeah.
That's great. But so now you have a studio.
I do, we have a studio in Rhode Island, in Foster, Rhode Island. And
big studio?
Well, it actually was, interestingly, it was an old wheelwright factory, and they made wagon wheels, which is pretty cool.
Come on.
So we actually have a water source on the land with a pond which was used for power for SARS. Yes, they made wagon wheels and painted wagons and did all the under. So it's very cool.
So the ghosts of all those wagon wheelwrights are there.
In a different time, in a different sense of time, when people were travel was very different, and everything was pretty much the machine supplemented the human labor.
Now, do you have a staff? Are you working alone? You mentioned a partner.
Yeah, just the two of us, really. We're really. I've been fully employed by other studios for about 10 years, and this is a new adventure for us.
Oh, it is?
Really breaking away.
Adventure is a kind word.
It is kind.
Sometimes the words challenging go with adventure.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
So you obviously enjoy what you do.
I do very much, and I really, as well as hoping to continue making a living, I hope to keep this craft alive and bring it.
Was your dad your biggest influence for coming up here today? Or
absolutely, to have family here, so my wife and son could come, and we have a place to stay, and we want to be moving more. I would like to live in the North Country. I would like to return to the North Country.
That's another theme that recurs throughout our broadcast. Everybody who leaves here wishes they could come back. There is a tradition of stone carving right here in northern New York and Vermont, so
we actually get a lot of slate from Granbury, New York, and in Vermont they have wonderful quarries, and we work with them a lot.
Barry is
and Barry marble and granite.
World famous.
Yeah, so it would be good for us as craftsmen too to be closer to the source of stone.
Adam,
Really
it's great to
helpful.
meet you.
Really great to meet you
Good
too.
luck.
Thanks for what you do.
Nurture that beautiful baby of yours.
Yes, thank
What's
you.
your baby's name?
Liam.
Liam, L-I-A-M?
That's right.
That's
Liam
a great old
Alexander.
name. I love
It is.
See you later. Have
All
a
right.
wonderful day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yes.
And what's the last name?
Meyerhoff.
Meyerhoff, great. All right, we're on. Doug Meyerhoff.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm from Fort Edward, New York, down in the South Glens Falls area.
That's great. We've couple of people here from your neck of the woods.
That's great.
And you said this was your first time. You look
First
so
time.
familiar. It's like old friends here.
Well, I used to live in Plattsburgh about 25 years ago.
Well, I was on the radio here 25 years ago, so.
I actually opened the Days Inn Hotel back in
Come
1984. Yes, I did.
Boy, a little water over the Days Inn Dam since those days.
Yeah, I left the hotel industry about 18 years ago, but I came back, and my wife and I still love this area. We still love Anthony's Restaurant, and we lived out on Cumberland Head.
I
So
was
this
just
is
telling my wife this morning we've got guests coming up from Georgia this summer. We got to go back to Anthony's.
best restaurant in the Northeast.
So you were in that hotel business for a long time.
I was in there about over a decade, and then I got out of that and I went into the printing business. But in the meantime, it was a hobby. My mentor doing this is my father. He was the one who
Aren't
does
they
it.
always? We have mothers and daughters, fathers and sons all over the place here.
Yeah, there's a little too much to do craft fairs for him, so now I brought it to the craft fair level, and I bring the work out and I show it. I cut with him. He's taught me a lot of this.
Isn't that great? And there is a fall craft fair here too, which
I plan to be here in November.
a 2-day affair.
I
It's
plan to
very
be.
successful.
Yeah.
So this is your tune-up.
Yes. We wanted to come and see what it was like, see what the facility was like, and enjoy, meet some people.
Well, talk a little bit about this, because this work you do here is absolutely incredible.
It's hand scroll saw work. And to do scroll saw work, you'll see people that do it with a laser, but we do it all by hand. I sketch on a lot of the stuff that's on the wall here in the hanging display. I sketch and I design.
Yeah.
And for every opening you see in the wood, for every little
I
opening,
love this box.
you have to drill a hole with the drill bit. Then you have to feed the saw blade up through the wood, cut. When you're done with that area and the wood comes out, you got to feed
You're
it
making
again.
me sweat just talking about it, Douglas.
And then so you just work on your piece. So this is a hickory box.
You know, it pleases me to be able to find a finished product like this, and to have somebody explain how you get there from here.
Well,
because it's not just picking up the.
No, it takes
time to design
to design. I take a piece of wood, a raw piece of wood, and just look for something out of it, out of the grains, out of what's there. And then my dad, he loves the clocks, and
I love the clocks too.
He's an old German man
You
who
can tell
grew up
your
with
dad
the cuckoo
I
clocks.
love the clocks.
And then for years ago, he only dealt with plywoods, and now I've brought in and we found a source for some different woods. We've got from cedar, birch, maple. The orange wood is called Paducah. There's rose.
Paducah, that's a new one on me. Where does that? Is that
That
native?
comes out of South America, actually.
South
There's a few
America.
exotics here that come out of the southern continents. And this is bloodwood, actually from the bloodwood tree.
You
And
gotta
then
be kidding.
That's solid red.
Well, I never heard of bloodwood. And
That
that's
is
a
solid.
natural grain.
Natural grain and color. So is this Paducah. That is solid orange. That wood is not stained. That's solid.
Isn't that? And you order this stuff?
We're fortunate we have a store down in our area, a specialty wood store.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's two of them. There's one in the Boston Spa area, and then there's one out in Pulaski, New York. We drive out and we visit a gentleman out there who has hardwoods, special hardwoods. But the bloodwood, and then there's yellow heart. That yellow wood is solid yellow. There's purple heart, which is solid purple. But the ones I enjoy the most are our natural native ones, our cherries, our bird's eye maples, our poplars. This is another form of maple, ambrosia maple. You've got black walnuts. You've got butternut.
I love it. Look at. How many different kinds of wood in here? 4 or 5?
Yeah, there is. That's cherry. That's butternut. This is Baltic birch. That's a black walnut. That's actually poplar with a little bit of a yellow stain. And then this is quarter sawn oak.
What a beautiful piece that is. How long would it take you to do that one?
That's about a week's worth of work right there.
Oh,
So
I don't know how you could possibly sell some of these beautiful creations for the prices you have on them, you're losing money every time you make one.
We do it out of love. It's a passion of
Isn't it
love,
great?
and it's a gift that the good Lord gave me, my father, and he's passed it on down. And I just enjoy touching nature.
Yeah,
I love our Adirondacks, and then I'd love to touch it with using the woods the right way and still keeping them the way they
I'm
are.
just looking all around. What's the hardest piece you make, would you say?
That piece right there is a very challenging piece.
Oh my goodness.
And the reason it's challenging is, let me just lay this down, is the intricacy of all the branches on the
I
pine
can't
tree.
even believe it.
And the intricacies of trying to turn this wood.
Look at it. I don't know if people, the camera can see. These are all different cuts here.
Yes. It's actually, it's trying to move the wood back and forth. You're spinning it underneath that saw
Oh, I
blade,
can't
trying not
even.
to break the blade.
I can't even, and you've probably done that too.
A couple times. A couple times we do that.
So where did this design come from in the beginning?
Part of it came from my head. Part of it, the tree came from another pattern I had seen.
Yeah.
So I kind of put it together, blended it together, and I said, saw the piece of wood, and I said, I don't want to use it this way. I want to use it vertically.
This is absolutely amazing stuff.
So,
You didn't bring everything you've ever made here,
No.
I'm sure.
No, I'm fortunate. I take commission work. I do work by commission. If
Oh, you
somebody
do?
has an idea and a design that they want to see, they can give me it, and I'll think about it. I'll sketch out. It may take me a little bit of time. I don't work under time pressure, but I want to give somebody a piece of art that they want to keep. I do one big piece for charity every year down in our area. I just did a window, what we call a window on the Adirondacks, and it had 4 different Adirondack scenes in the glass.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is that for a private home?
Actually, it went to a private home, but out of an auction for the American Red Cross.
Doesn't get better than that.
Every year, this is my wife, Barb.
Hi, Barbara. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Corey Little and Calvin Castile.
Hi, guys. I remember your name when we used to live in Plattsburgh before.
See that?
Sure.
It's all his fault. He said, there's that fat guy again. That's a long time ago.
Yes. Yep.
Well, I was here a long time ago.
Yeah. It's a beautiful area. We love
What's
it.
your contribution here besides being the wonderful wife that you are?
Thank you. Almost 25 years. Patience, but he has the wood all lined up in the living room to dry by the wood stove, and then he'll lay it across the slab.
I can smell it.
Yeah,
I'm
and
in my recliner,
draw.
I draw right on the recliner.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she allows me, it's a gift to have a wife that'll allow you to have raw wood just sitting in your living room.
It's better than
But it's beautiful.
better than a motorcycle dismantled on a kitchen table.
That's true. We have one in the garage.
Oh, you
so.
do? In the garage.
But it's
not on the table.
Not dismantled, though.
No, I can just
And I do, he asks me advice on what to put where and, things like that, because I really,
designer.
I love to paint and do all that stuff.
I think we ought to put CD after your name. Contributing designer. Does your dad work with you or in his own home, or how does
No,
that
he
go?
actually, we have an apartment on our home, and he lives with us,
They
and we
moved in
built
with
a wood
us.
shop, and he and I work together, we collaborate together, and it's the way I cherish his remaining years in life
That's
together.
about as good as it
Yep.
gets, isn't it?
Yeah, we didn't
It
want
is.
him to go in a nursing home, so we kept him with us. They live with us.
And it kept his hobby, it kept his passion alive. It's his craft, and it's his gift.
What a perfect way to end this program today. I have to tell you, we never know quite what we're going to get into when we do these shows. First of all, about 40% of the people say, no, I don't want to be on television. Don't talk to me. We're offering a wonderful, to expose your what you do, your craft to the public. But mostly today, we've found the most charming people I've ever met because they're from New York State, mostly from northern New York. They have crafts that are, some of them are relatively common, but others are absolutely unique. Lots of people do this, but I've never seen anybody who did it as well as you do.
Well, thank you. We appreciate
Thank
the
you
compliment.
so much for saying hi to us today.
Oh.
And I'll just picture you next winter in that recliner, making a picture, drying the wood by the wood stove.
Yep.
But I hope our audience has that in their minds today. I'd just like to say thank you for all of our viewers for staying with us through some of these programs that we do. We do many different kinds of programs and meet many kinds of people, but nobody more charming than these people and the other folks that we met at the Spring Arts and Crafts Fair at Plattsburgh State at the Field House, November.
We'll be back.
Don't forget.
We look forward to
November we'll be here.
Thank you very much.
And who knows where we're going to be next time for our little corner.